It happens, especially at the end of winter, at the beginning of spring, where the mesh onion bag in the kitchen begins to sprout yellow shoots and the onion heads become slightly soft. Although such onions can still be used for food, they're no longer as fresh or as tasty as they're supposed to be. So, what should I do with it? Throw it away? Or maybe it's worth it to try and grow it. But how? What is the most efficient, clean, and least time and money consuming method? You should know that with such an onion, you can easily and quickly get a luxurious green onion and without much effort, just on the windowsill. Just imagine no cans, no plastic bottles, no glass jars with water taking up the entire windowsill, as it is usually recommended, no soggy egg cartons, no wet napkins, or similar impractical ideas. All I need is dried sphagnum moss or hypnum moss. In Canada, these mosses can be purchased for just a couple of bucks at any dollar store or craft or hobby store. And also, I will need a long plastic tray, normally used for balcony flowers, as it fits perfectly on the windowsill. At the beginning, I simply place a small layer of moss on the bottom, 4 to 5 centimeters thick, and I place the sprouted onion bulbs tightly, one to one by one. Then I water everything so that the moss absorbs the moisture. It is known that sphagnum moss can absorb water 15 times more than its dry weight, and hypnum moss 8 times more. Therefore, if there's no sphagnum, another type of moss will also be suitable for this purpose. And the pot should not have drainage holes, and if it does, they should be blocked. And just a few days later, the yellow onion sprouts begin to evenly stretch out and turn green, rapidly starting the normal process of photosynthesis. And at the same time, a bunch of white roots will appear on the bottom of the bulbs, which actively grow into the moss. You can practically start harvesting the green onions for salad and soup using this method in just a couple of weeks. After all, mosses are similar to soil, contain spores of all kinds of soil bacteria, almost all of the microbiota necessary for root formation. You should try this yourself to make sure that this is a completely different method compared to the methods using glass cups or mason jars with a bit of water, or even other stupid ways of growing onions in an egg carton or using wet napkins, in which only mold grows well. Keep in mind that mosses in general, especially sphagnum moss, shows some antiseptic and antifungal properties, and your container will stay free of mold, smell, and rotting. It happens likely due to a balance in microbiota. So you can try it out for yourself and you can see. You can keep the onion in this state for quite a long period of time until all the stored nutrients in the bulb are depleted or arrow-looking flower spikes begin to appear. It is better to harvest all of it before that happens for the best results. And if you have the ability, it can be placed outdoors, but only when the spring temperatures rises sufficiently. You should remember that although onions are generally resistant to mild spring frosts, they simply stop growing even at low positive temperatures. So there is no point in taking onions outside until it warms up to at least 10 to 15 degrees Celsius and above. It's a great idea, or an even better idea, if there is a small free piece of land in your vegetable garden, because in just a couple of weeks, onions with such a planting method in moss will develop a really, really good root system. So they are accepted in soil almost immediately and will grow quickly and be ready for harvest almost from mid-May. Since all the onions are usually harvested until mid-June, between the onions, I throw in some lettuce seeds in May, or I plant a few slow-growing peppers or beet seedlings. And this precious vegetable bed, it doesn't go to waste during the growing season. So when I collect all the onions, the following vegetables will occupy this area, and this area will not be idle. This is extremely important, especially for smaller gardens. However, if there is a lot of onions and you have a lot of free land, then you can leave some of it for seeds or new bulb formations. Have a great gardening season, and if you liked my idea, please like and subscribe.